Hello, there's Eddie, and today I'm going to show you how to do curry beef burgers. I have my ingredients here: 2 jumbo beef burgers, Aberdeen Angus, chopped onions, mixed vegetables which has been microwaved to soften, and sultanas, currants, mixed fruit which has been soaked in boiling water to soften. And also, now I've got some button mushrooms here which I'm going to chop up. This will also go into the mix. The quantity of ingredients you use with each thing is entirely up to you. You can have more mushrooms, more onion, more fruit, more mixed veg. It doesn't really matter. Just chop these on. I meant to do this before I got the camera going. I might cut this out anyway. You don't need to be fussy how you chop up mushrooms. You can chop them up anyhow you like. So there we are. Now, 1 large saucepan. You can use a frying pan if you want, but the saucepan you can do it all in one. Otherwise, if you use the frying pan to start with, you're going to have to switch to the saucepan afterwards. Right. Sunflower oil I used. You can use olive oil. You can use vegetable oil. I wouldn't advise using fat. This is to fry up the onions, meat and mushrooms. Always start with the onions because they take a little bit longer. Get some meat on. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to have to sit down for a minute so you can see me. So, give you a few little kitchen tips if I can. Do you use these hooks that you say I use, the sticky back hooks? Have you ever tried removing them? Well, they're very simple to remove and you can actually use them again. Most people wind up pulling them off and pulling paint off with them. What you have to do is get your hairdryer and blow onto them, and they will, and then you have to take them off very slowly. If you take them off fast, you'll take off paint, but if you remove them very slowly, you'll get them off without the paint, and they can be used again. Right, let's have a look at the onions. This is the trouble with cooking, you've got the thawing period in between. There. Next, the meat. Well, just chop up the beef burgers anyhow, it doesn't really matter. You can use any kind of meat. One day I wanted a curry and I had no meat, but I had a beef burger and I thought I'll try it, and it worked out nice. The onions. Oh, here's the big secret of a good curry. Strong curry powder. I've got some left in the other one. This is where you get the best curry, is by doing this. While you're cooking your meat and your onions and your mushrooms, frying them. Frying curry and burning it like this really brings out the flavour and infusion of curry. And then mushrooms. They don't take so long to fry. And finally, can always chop them up a bit. Notice I'm using the fish slice again there. Get used to all sorts of things here. And the mixed veg. And finally the fruit. You don't have to use fruit if you don't want to. It's more of an Indian curry when you use fruit in it. This is quite quick. A little bit more curry, depends how hot you like it. Now, leave that for a little while. Another thing, you ladies, do you have problems with stains? Because I can tell you to remove stains of all kinds, including paint. I mean, one of the worst things is probably when you've spilt some paint on your clothes and you don't notice it, and it dries in, and you wash them and don't realise it's there, and when it comes out the wash, ooh, awful trying to get it off, isn't it? Well, believe you me, ladies, you got it at your fingertips. That is if you use nail varnish, because if you got a nail varnish remover, it will remove any paint from any clothes. It will also remove it from furniture and other things. There is only one thing you've got to watch. If you're removing it from a varnish surface or something like that, you have to have a damp, wet cloth in your hand so that as soon as the paint is removed, you wipe it over. Otherwise, you'll take your varnish off as well. But because the varnish has been there a long time and has really hardened, it takes longer to shift. But you can get that out of, you can remove paint from clothes, anything like that, with nail varnish remover. Now, you wonder why I got nail varnish remover. Well, I have a treatment for my toenails, and you use a clear varnish on them when you finish, and then you have to remove it the next time you treat them, and you get supplied with this in the kit. And I discovered that this stuff will remove all sorts of things. And that's all it is, nail varnish remover. As for stains, such as beetroot, tomato juice, and all those nasty things your old man gets on his pants, there's a very simple way to do that. A cold wash. A cold wash using a biological washing powder. For the full wash, the second wash, you can use either biological or you can use non-bio. And for a really bad stain, do the cold wash the night before and leave it overnight, and I guarantee you'll, when you've done your normal wash after that, you will find that the stains are gone. That includes beetroot. In fact, blood you can get out with just cold water. What you must never do with blood is get anything hot on it, because when you cook these stains, you're doing what a dye maker does when he dyes his stuff, to cook it to get it to stay dyed, not come out. So remember, any stains, you don't need to waste money on all these fancy stain removers. I don't know if all washing machines have got it, but my washing machine's got a cold wash on it. And those sort of clothes I put in my underpants and all that the night before, cold wash, and then leave them, and then do the next morning do the entire wash with all the rest of my clothes in it, except for the, you know, the whites, all the whites, not the colours. And that's about it. Now this should be just about done by now, I should think. We'll have a little look. Yep. Right. That's good. Well, now, if a curry's too hot, you can cool it down a bit by using a bit of sugar. I put a little bit of sugar in. This is unrefined sugar. And the magic ingredient of all, coffee white. A coffee whitener. Some people use yogurt and whatnot, but I use coffee whitener because I'm allergic to milk. And the amount you use, obviously, doesn't really matter. Depends how much you want. And there's only one thing to do after this, actually. There's probably another trick. Cold water. And the final thing, the red for beef, the white for chicken. This is just to thicken it a bit. You can put more water or less water. Always cold water, same as making gravy. And this will freeze up when I've finished, and it'll make me about 6 or 7 curry and rices, or curry and chips, or whatever. I'll eat curry on its own. I like it quite hot as well, so there you go. I don't know how long that's taken. I'm just trying to think of some other tips I can give you. I mentioned on the gravy making one, if you haven't seen this, a fish slice for mixing anything like gravy, and that is the best thing you can use to prevent lumping. All that's got to be done now is brought to the boil and then left to simmer for a little while, and that's about it. I'm sure you've had enough of me by now. So I'll say thanks for watching and goodbye. You didn't believe I did all this myself, did you? You watch my other videos and you think, oh, he doesn't do that cooking, but you've actually seen me done it. And I'll be just waiting for that to come to boil in order to thicken. And what I won't do is, well, I won't show you how to make the rice. You can get these freezer to microwave things, twins, and you put your curry in one side and rice in the other if you like, and you can then heat it up, and it doesn't matter if you don't use it all, you can refreeze it. Don't believe what they tell you, you can't refreeze it. All you must remember to do is that if raw meat defrosts, this is another tip coming up, you see, you must cook it before refreezing. But with a curry, it's been cooked, it's been defrosted, then it's been cooked again, then defrosted. You can do that as many times as you like, so long as you cook it after it is defrosted, because the germs are then killed anyway. And you know me and germs, I get on quite well with them. Well, I'll say goodbye to you now and enjoy your curry and rice and chips or whatever. If you're really lazy, you make this up and you freeze it up. You can come home, pop it in the microwave and some frozen chips and you're away there.